My name is Carlos, and today I'm talking with Anastasia, my ex ballroom dancing partner. And together we were multiple dance ballroom champions of Latvia and also finalists of European and World Championship. And we wanted to talk about a partnership in a ballroom couple and what to do and what not to do. I'm sure a lot about what not to do, and
Mostly we're not.
maybe mostly what not to do. And maybe Anastasia can add, you, if you want, you can add something about yourself that would you like people to know.
I would like to add that I appreciate my ballroom career mostly. I started to appreciate it mostly after it was over, which is also, not bad. Not bad at all. It helped me in many
What make
ways in my life.
Yeah, what makes you say so?
Um, I think everything is more visible at the distance, and you can't really see many things when you're involved in them. Very trivial thing to say, but unfortunately or fortunately, it's that's what it is always.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes total sense. So why don't we pick up our first topic and talk about like balancing leadership and collaboration in a ballroom dance couple, right? And the struggle between equality and compromise. And just looking back, I thought that was a difficult thing to do because
It
you
was
have your
impossible.
ideas. It was impossible. Okay, more accurately, it was impossible. You have your ideas and you're experienced dancer as well as I am experienced dancer, and we both want to do great, right? So you, because it's important to you, you want to put your input into our dancing, and I do the same. And sometimes it's difficult, right, to communicate and compromise together.
Sorry, I'm writing down. I'm just writing as you talk. I write
Okay.
something down just not to
Hmm.
forget. So first, I want to evaluate our communication skill, like looking back.
Hmm.
Um, I think actually, while it was disaster almost always, I still don't think it was the worst because in our battles, we, in 90% of the time, we actually found the way to improve through these
Hmm.
battles. So they were not pointless. In actually, I think you can agree, most of the time it was uh, brutal sometimes, but we never actually made a step back after them. It was always progress after that. It was hard earned, but it was. Um, Also, leadership. I don't even think. I mean, what do you think right now, looking back? Do you even should it be a leadership even? Because well, while you have a couple, you also have coach,
Team, yeah.
and I don't even know how to put it. I don't think someone has to be a leader overall, because otherwise the second partner is just doing nothing really.
Yeah, I
But it
think
can be leadership in different departments. Like I wasn't always, I never, I was never athletic, and I remember you like pushing me to do more physical exercises, and you were the like motivated one to practice more, to do things more. While I remember I had quite a fragile health, so I prefer to do things not smarter, but with
a different
less
way.
less harm, or like more
Yeah. I think
softer.
that's a good point you have that. I guess, when, of course, when maybe one of the partners are much better and the other one is, let's say, not as great, then okay, the top level person, either female or male, would take the sort of the leader role, right? But I feel like in our partnership, we were more evenly matched, right? Throughout the years. So yeah, I think that's a good point. Like you said, I would be more focusing on physical aspect. Okay, we need to do rounds. We need to be, I don't know, sharper or faster or bigger, right, or whatever. And then you would be
Which is
more.
impossible to reach a result without that. If we would be mellow, like I like. you pushed me to my limits most of the times, which I wouldn't be able to reach just by myself because it never occurred to me that I can or should do as much.
Yeah. But, and I was about to say that you were more a leader, let's say in the sensitive aspect, right? How it should feel like the dance, I wasn't really good with that. I was like, okay, we just need to go there with as much power as
Sure.
possible, right? Which there is some truth to that, but it's not all of it, especially it's not like we are, I don't know, throwing the javelin, it's dancing. So we need the sensual aspect and feeling. And I felt like you were definitely leader in that, costumes and feeling the routine, how it should flow and how it should feel like, and what's the image of our couple, and things like that. Obviously, you were like leader in that department, kind of like you said that, one of us is better at one things, and I kind of take charge there, and you're much better than me in that aspect, and you take charge in, choreography and feeling the partnership and how to lead. For example, I'm like, oh, just go, just go already. But
Well,
now,
in many senses, I don't think. Well, how else would you know? This is actually also an interesting thing about leading. We can come back to it later because I don't really think it's possible. While it's annoying when your follower keep telling you what to do, there's really no other way to learn because if you're not very precise with your leading, well, when the leader is not very precise with the leading, I'll just be off balance and then I'll be heavy and then you'll be complaining that I'm heavy, but I would love not to be, but I'm not on my feet or something. So yeah, it's
yeah,
very
exactly.
sensitive.
So, you know sometimes I watch some other couples compete or dance or train or practice, and I would just see how they are struggling, and I'm trying to remember, oh, did I struggle the same, or how did that
Yeah.
go, or whenever I'm teaching somebody, like, oh, this is how you should lead, and they're, oh, it's so easy, I mean, yeah, I mean, it wasn't easy when I was trying to learn it. I remember, like, you would tell me, I would lead, and I was like, oh, no, you're pushing too hard. I was like, okay, good, okay, good, I gotcha, I'm not gonna push so hard. So I'm like, and then you're like, no, you're not leading. I was like,
Okay, yeah. I
you
know.
want me to lead or not lead, so it's frustrating, right? But I'm sure it was,
Yeah.
it's not that you're trying to be mean, you're just trying to actually help me, but because I can't feel it, I can't understand it, it just takes some time to learn that.
Well, well, as a tip right here, if we can like put it aside as an advice, maybe you can try to separate your roles to begin with. Just maybe write it down. I remember we practiced like this at one point that we split our practice in, I think it was 15 minutes segments or 30 minutes
Mm-hmm.
when uh, I was suggesting something, then you would suggest something, then we both just shut up and just dance. And
Mm-hmm.
you trying to implicate what I told, I'm trying to implicate what you told. I think it was very, very actually successful practices. Um, I personally have to be very stable in my mind for that sort of practice, but it helped. We implicated it later in our lives.
Later in our journey, yeah. No,
Later,
I
yeah. But
remember
I mean,
that.
I would be. I wonder how it would work if we could do it right away. But again, in our situation, we also had a language barrier for first year or so,
Mm-hmm.
which I didn't feel back in the days, but now I understand that it was a struggle actually. I think it would be much easier for me. I don't know how about you, but it will be also cultural differences. Even though it's not like they were not super huge, but there were. It was a little confusing. It took my attention away sometimes.
Certainly, yeah. I mean, exactly, even I'm from Latvia and you're from Russian Federation. So our cultures, I would say, are not that different, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly. Yeah.
geographically, it's not that far, but in reality it is a bit different, how you speak and how you communicate and what you say and
Mhm.
what you not say, right? So exactly.
Mostly in what you not say, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Let's pick another topic. So okay, this is a good one. How to approach
Actually,
conflicts.
one more
Tell
note.
me.
One more note that I have it here. I remember that one of the most successful competitions, mm, communicating wise and therefore performing wise, was when I was a little bit sick, a little under the weather, let's put it this way, and I only had a certain amount of
Energy.
energy to devote to dancing. So I was focusing on the bare minimum of what I could do today. That was amazing. As long as I had too much energy, I was a little bit all over the place, which maybe younger dancers can try to control on purpose, not waiting for themselves
Yeah, I think the
to be sick.
most. Yeah, I think the most challenging, not the most, but one of the challenging parts is, when you're like a teenager or like a young adult, I guess depends on your temperament and your character. But as a rule, I don't know, for us, I think that was definitely the case that both of us, we have so much like energy and kind of passion for what we do. So we really care and we can sort of kind of spend it in so many ways. And that kind of harms us, right? Because I want everything good now, and like, come on, why don't you do it right now? Like, I want it, and you would probably feel kind of, okay, why are you pushing me, or why are you pulling me? I want it. You fix it right now, and that sort of approach. I felt like, for example, from my point of view, I didn't give enough kind of like, okay, just let's try it out for 30 minutes, and we're not gonna really,
Yeah, we
I don't
never
know.
really did that actually. You're right. We never had a practice which is just practicing skills. We
Hmm.
were practicing kind of dancing. We just danced for a longest time with just practicing. We never
Hmm.
really went slowly through things until I maybe we were 21-ish plus, right? Before it was just we're just like, okay, let's dance like this. And what's
No,
happening in between is, I mean, whatever. Cha cha.
no, I think we did do go slowly. And remember, I think a typical practice session for us, we would go to the ballroom. I would kind of do myself a little 15-30 minutes. You would kind of do your thing, whatever you feel like you wanted, and then we would go together and try to, yeah, dance, and sometimes slowly and sometimes faster. But I think like now
Well, I
that,
mean, we certainly did, but I think it was more as we grew older. I think we did less rounds, and actually we practiced little details more, which is normal, I think, because your body can do more. You have more skills to actually practice because when you just begin and you have to do like two or three things, you don't really have to spend that much time on that. And the more details you learn, the more time it takes to go through. But yeah, it is helpful. For me, the most helpful practices were when we just went slow over and over again. But I mean, again, then you're losing your stamina, so you need to combine those.
yeah. So
I
what I
also
was
was a
about to
little
say,
slow to get stuff. I need to
yeah,
repeat it a lot of times to just like kind of really.
soak it in. Yeah, I think like that's what something I think we maybe could have done better. That, let's say for me, we would kind of have some subject, and then I would just dance with you, and I would be, and maybe you didn't get it right exactly, but I would be like, oh, that's a good try. Oh wow, that was a good try. Let's do it again. And then kind of do it again, and maybe it's still not good, but I would be like, oh wow, okay, it's a little better. But I feel like usually what I did, it was like you would try, oh, like, oh, that sucked. And then obviously it's just too harsh, right? And it doesn't really help, right? I would probably upset you. Okay, one time I did it Second time I did it. By the third time, you would be like, Carlos, come on. I mean, I'm trying here, and then I would be like, oh, you're not trying hard enough or whatever. So that kind of more mature way, right? I would be like, oh, that's good. Let's try it again. I think that we could have done better, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I remember our schedule with attendance and all the competition and all the camps. 90% of the time, I was just so sick of, I was just tired. It's hard
Mhm.
to find grace
Yeah.
to spare when you're just trying not to die
Yeah, I remember one time
there.
we were supposed to do this. I think it was either European Cup or European Championship in Moscow, and we went there with your father, and we were okay. We're gonna go to Moscow and we're gonna train for a week, and we're
Oh
gonna
my God.
whatever
Oh my
do
God. Yes.
rounds,
Oh,
right? And we're gonna be
I'm
so
sweating right
amazing,
now.
right? And then we went there, and Moscow is such a big city, and it's the ballroom is quite far. And then we were like, oh, okay, one first day, oh, it's we just came here, let's just relax. Okay, good. Second day, no, 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 it's let's just relax. It's an important competition, let's take it
Came from
easy.
him. I had such a huge anxiety. I'm like, when am I gonna
Yeah,
go practice?
yeah, yeah, right. And then the third day, okay, I think we went one time. We went, like, we took the metro and we went there and we
But it was
practiced. It was cold, I think, right? It was winter, and then we came back, and oh my god, we're just exhausted. And then the next 3 or 4 days, we just lie in the apartment, and the result, we danced really good. I remember.
it was one of the best. Yes, I mean that's
Yeah,
also another tip. You need to know when to relax because um you can't just be on all
yeah.
the time.
I mean, I think that's important thing, right? Because you usually, right? I mean, I'm sure people are different, but usually the man would be kind of like you said, more physical. Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. And the woman would be more like in the moment, oh my god, we're practicing a lot, I don't feel good, I think we should take a break. And that's like an important point where maybe a coach comes in, right, where both of you can kind of realize, oh, you know what, we should take a break, that's going to benefit us more than we're going to push through and maybe injure ourselves, right?
Well, that what happened to me 100 times during our practice. Anyway, now being older and more injured than I was before, now I learned one thing that I can be most productive, something that we never had while we were dancing, and I wish I actually pay more attention. It happened to me a couple times during our like most intense practices. I think I felt asleep. I fell asleep a couple of times. Just the picture that you showed me, it was in Germany when I just were practicing. Like in the middle of the day, I'm like, okay, I'm going to sleep, like on the grass outside the
Yeah,
studio. I was okay.
that was in Latvia
And
still, but we were preparing for German Open.
I felt one time, yes, I fell asleep
Yeah.
one time in Latvia, and then another time, I think. Well, anyway, it was multiple times, and
Hmm.
now I learned that I can do almost, I don't know, everything, multiple things simultaneously, but I need to have my sleep, and it's better be 10 hours, which is a lot. Maybe you don't need this much. I do. And even if I decide to mm, shorten it and save some time so I can, let's say, practice more, it won't be as useful. I'd rather sleep 10 plus hours and then practice 2, but very productive hours, rather than I'll practice 6 being like a boiled spaghetti,
Yeah,
but more
makes sense.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I wish I could do it because in my mind it was like, oh, we're not practice enough time, but then
Mm.
time is not quality.
True, true. I mean, what does it matter if you practice bad, right? It's sort
Yeah,
of inefficient anyways. Might as well just
hmm,
rest it, right? Yeah.
and that's also important.
So why don't we talk about this, the topic number 4, the handling conflicts and resolving disagreements. So how do you think to, I don't know, not get too, like too personal, and take it personally into this kind of
How
a,
not to? I don't
partnership.
know. You have to be a decent person. I don't know. That's not.
Not us. I remember a couple of
Uh,
times we kind of got, I mean, couple, quite a few times
Sorry,
we
say again.
got, I remember, of course, a couple of times we got pretty mad at each other, right?
Uh huh.
I think part of
Okay,
it
I
because we're
still
just
think.
tired.
Yeah, for me, for sure. Especially um, if I have a physical pain, which I almost have, almost always have, and it's I got used to it, especially like my back. It was always like hurting like 24/7. And it's already very mellow. I don't even pay attention to it much, but it's still there. It still irritates me every single moment. And then you irritate me even more. So I don't have this, again, it's not an excuse, but it's just, I mean, that's what it is. Also, I feel like it was better when I was so mad that I don't care anymore, and then it was just
Okay,
perfect.
I see.
But I
When was
mean, you
that?
don't care.
Which moment was that? Why don't you remind
Oh,
me?
um, not here.
I see. Not on recording.
Before last German Open,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
I was ready. I was ready to quit, like
Every day.
any every day, every
Yeah.
any given moment. Seriously, it was just
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Too much. Yeah. So I think,
it was very good competition. Remember, it was brilliant, fantastic.
yeah, I think it's like you said, maybe it's important to sort of schedule a rest period, right? I think sometimes we didn't schedule that at all. We were like, we're just going to push as hard as we can and then
No, we
just
never did.
die.
Never. No, we never did. And every time, well, you were much healthier. I don't know. How are your knees doing?
Oh, they're fantastic.
No.
No, it's okay.
Huh?
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, okay, but I mean, right. It always happened to me. Always something always happened to me, to my neck, to my back, to my hands, to my ribs, to
Yeah.
my knees, everything. And every time I had to push through my traumas and through my illness, and just don't. I mean, if someone is watching is don't do it. Don't
Yeah.
do it, because it doesn't matter how much you dance. Hopefully you will still live longer after that.
True.
You're gonna need your body parts.
I think also, just as we are talking about the conflicts and disagreements, I think, like I mentioned before, many of those things happened when I remember I was getting tired and you were getting tired. So we are more easily irritated, and that's the moment where, you know,
I also feel I think people should try to be just happier in generally.
hmm
In
So you
general,
think we
like
were not happy?
art. Tell me your everyday schedule, how you remember it after our school. Like school is done, we're in a university. Tell me your everyday schedule.
How I remember it?
Hmm.
I think we wake up, I don't know, around 8 or 9 or even 10 sometimes. We would go to the ballroom, maybe practice for 2 hours, maybe have a private lesson, have lunch, and then maybe 1 hour break, then maybe group class, 1 hour, maybe 1.5, and then maybe some more practice, 1 hour in the end. I think something like that,
Okay,
depending
and then
on the day.
what time we normally, you remember we were normally done?
Hmm. Around 8 p.m.,
Okay, and then
7,
what
8,
would you do
9.
before you go to sleep? What would you do?
Before we go to sleep, we'll have some dinner, maybe watch a movie, go to bed. I think
So
something
it's
like
like
that.
midnight, right? By the time we got home, took a shower, we ate, midnight.
Yeah, 11, 12, I would say, yeah.
Is it a happy schedule? Every day. We did that. And we did that
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We flew Thursday. We danced at the competition, 10 dance. Hello. Friday,
hmm
Saturday, Sunday. We flew back on Monday.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, practice, da da da. So on Thursday. Tickets are cheaper if you fly in at 3 a.m. Fantastic.
Yes.
I love my life. Right? And then you have to cover all the national competitions, ranking competitions, championships, European championships, world championships, northern something championship. And then you need to do all the WDSF rankings.
Yeah. No, we did quite a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess the
You need to, I
conclusion
mean, you
of this
really need
thought.
to find place for like hobbies, just other like normal human being things.
Hmm.
I mean, my most fantastic time off that I had in Latvia. I went,
Uh-huh.
thank God, we lived near the creek and there was hungry ducks and I fed the ducks. That was entertainment of a lifetime.
You see? It was a happy memory.
Yes, very nice. What about go to theater just for a change sometimes or shopping
We
or
did that a little.
yeah, how many
I guess
times?
not enough. I
How
guess
many
not
times? How
enough.
many times? No.
I don't
We
remember.
danced 6 years. How many times we've been to a theater?
Theater? I don't
How many
remember.
times you remember we went to a
Maybe
movie theater?
movie theater? Oh, that one we did. Come on, we did that.
How many approximately?
No, it sounds like not enough. Not enough, but
No, but how many? Do you remember? Because I
like
don't.
once a month to twice a month, we went to movie
To the
theaters.
movie theater?
Yeah, we went to. I remember one time we went to
I
this
mean,
scary
maybe you
movie
went
you
for
really
someone
liked. I
else.
couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep.
I wasn't there.
No, no, no.
Anyway,
We went.
but like other like what would you do right now? What do you do now? Because I mean I cook. I have I'm planting some things. I sew sometimes. Like I do things.
Yeah.
I go out to eat. You
No.
remember when was the first time we went out? It was I don't even remember where was it. It was somewhere in Volgograd. But you remember what happened? We went there.
Mm.
It was a nice place. We were like, okay. Oh, we came back from our first. We were working somewhere, so we got paid for the first time. We taught
Okay.
somewhere. It was like exciting.
Okay.
We're like, okay, we're going out to eat.
Okay.
You remember that we finished our meal in like 20 minutes because
Uh
that's
huh.
how fast. And we were sitting like, okay, what people do in restaurants? Because I mean, I didn't know because I thought you go there to eat. Normally, I have to spend about 20 minutes for my meal
Mm-hmm.
because then we have to go practice
Mm-hmm.
or do elsewhere something else. We have
Mm-hmm.
to go elsewhere. And I remember we would just finished eating. I'm like, like that's it. And it was like, yep, that's it. We're like, okay, let's go. He's like, we were out there in an hour. Like from the moment we
I don't
walked in.
remember
Who does
that.
that? Well, I do. And it
You
was a
do.
nice place. It was a very nice meal.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember feeling that I never had time on my hands just to do things rather than rushing somewhere.
Mm.
That's why I'm having this wine right now.
No, you're making it up for now.
I I am. I never a lot of people ask me right now, um, which it's not true, but they ask me, how can I agree so easily? Which I'm sure you don't remember about me much, right? But nowadays, I'm just like, hey, yeah, sure. You're right. Just because I just imagine how much energy I'll have to spend on that subject, which I don't really care about. I'd rather go pour myself a wine. I'm like, you're right. Good. Let's go have a drink.
Yeah. No, I think it's
You
just
don't have to
maybe.
have a drink when you're actively dancing and competing, but figuratively speaking, just save your energy, go do something else. And then when you come back to practice, just happier. You're just happier. Do something that you like.
Mhm, mhm. No, I mean we were very focused on our career, right? And Partially, that's why
No,
we
but
have these achievements that we had. But it wasn't like we didn't rest at all. But of course, majority of the time we practiced. That is true.
I think it might help me if I would have something else.
Hmm.
I don't know, painting class with not with ourselves, just with other
Somebody
normal
else.
people. Something else.
Yeah, that's another thing. You in a dance partnership, we spend so much time together. I mean, any person you spend so much time together, they get a little on your nerves. I'm sure you can agree on that.
Well, you see, I'm married now to a person who's very much like you.
Hmm.
Lucky me.
So he's also amazing.
He's also amazing. And now I understand you better, but
I
also you
see.
prepared me quite a
Ah,
bit.
you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. He's more like Atis though, but Atis also very much like you.
Okay, so what does that mean?
All men are the same. I don't know.
Ah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Alright.
No, I mean, going
Anyway,
back to our topic, of
regulate it.
partnership.
I don't know. Find someone else to regulate it for you. If you can't,
What do you mean
this is
regulate?
okay. If you're younger and you're very motivated and everything, you need to have a coach. I mean, I feel like it's almost impossible. You need to be very down to earth person, very wise, and I don't
Mature.
think it very much comes together with your motivations. It kind of it can happen at the same time, but I don't meet a lot of people like that.
Hmm.
If they're very much in control and they're very wise, they grow up mentally earlier in life. I don't think they choose sports. I don't think they're competitive in
That makes
general.
sense.
I
Probably.
don't think I met these people.
Yeah.
It takes
So,
you have to be competitive and to be successful in your competition. You have to display a certain amount of passion, and then you need to kind of slow everything down to communicate with your partner, which is challenging. I think it's the most challenging aspect of any sport when different genders perform together, like
mm,
figure skating.
yeah, because the mentality is different, right? The way how you
Mentality,
perceive things and the way how I see things is different, right? So, and it's very difficult to imagine how you feel and how you think. For me now, I can kind of a little bit have a better feel about it, but it's like 10 years later.
yeah, but even now, I really, I really prefer to hear it. I don't, how to say. Well, you remembered even when I actually told you about this goddamn quick step, you still
Uh-huh.
couldn't really understand the meaning. Then it might be that you don't have enough experience as a follower to understand what I'm talking about, or I don't have enough vocabulary to explain to you what I feel
Hmm.
for some reason. So there are many points where miscommunication can happen. Actually, very many. Anyway, I honestly, my answer still to nowadays, I think you need to have a third person.
Hmm. To
I don't.
guide you
It's
through the
yeah, it's
disagreement.
the fastest way to. It's the fastest way to understand. To me,
Hmm.
still,
Makes sense.
maybe even therapist. I don't know. Therapist helps.
No, it's another sort of outside view, can help you understand yourself better, your partner better, your dancing better, right?
We also think many times. I feel like dancers, we kind of exclude ourselves from the other community, from other like
Other
society.
people. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because oh, it's different. It's dancing. No, it's not. If
Uh-huh.
you're an asshole anywhere. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
understand or you don't want to pay attention to another people, you don't want to pay attention in general. It's not different. Therefore, if therapy will help you, maybe even just to feel better, maybe that would be your feeling better point,
Mm-hmm.
to put yourself together first before you bring yourself to practice to communicate with your partner.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe go to therapy. Maybe you'll feel better after that. And then you will not be that irritated.
Mm-hmm.
There's in many, many, many ways like marriage.
I see. That is true. So much time together, and you're kind of working through things together, right?
And you need to most likely to have to reach some common goals,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is. So you and it's always easier when you're in a calm state of mind. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? What would be your suggestion? Because I would just go. I would involve a third person because I don't have time to become wiser. I need to do my foxtrot.
You mean to do what for
Yeah, to regulate your everyday.
training process?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think somebody that you kind of look up to can be helpful, like a fellow dancer, well, most likely, right? Because you're like a teacher that you think, wow, this teacher, I really like him as a person or as a coach or as because he has many accomplishments, and then when you look up to somebody, you are more open to their advice, and
Mhm.
hopefully they can help you to navigate this partnership situation. I remember, we had many of lessons like that where I would like, oh, Anastasia, she's doing this, la la la, and you would
Mhm.
be like, no, it's him, blah 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 blah, and then the coach would be like, breathe, breathe, it's gonna be
Well, and
okay.
most likely, we both were right.
Probably, yeah. So I mean, yeah, of course, coach. You need a coach. Yeah, you don't have a coach, then then it
Actually,
gets a
I
bit
feel
personal. It's like, okay, why should I listen to you? What are you? Are my boss or something? And you
Mhm,
have the
mhm.
same feeling. Why should I listen to me? Like, what are you, the know-it-all person? You're not. So when that happens, there needs to be a third person, and we both kind of, okay, this is our issue. What do you think? And then we need to be able to say, okay, let's go with that, right?
I feel very well, not sad, but it's a sad thing to me that um therapy wasn't as big of as widely accepted and
Mm-hmm.
normalized back when we were dancing, because I actually think now when I'm thinking about it, I think just regular couples therapist, even though it's
For
not
all
about
couples.
marriage and raising like children and everything, regular couples therapist would just, I think, would help us a lot. What do you think? I think it will actually.
Yeah, yeah, to kind of, I think, communication, because I would say
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah. Just
myself,
to.
I wouldn't be able to back then to communicate effectively. I don't think I was ever able to say to you, okay, Anastasia, I'm kind of tired, I think it would be better if we would kind of take a break, and you would be like, Carlos, that's a great idea, let's just rest.
Yeah, my
I
God,
mean,
would
it never
never do.
happened. Because I don't know, I didn't know there's an option like that, somehow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I never knew
Yeah.
there's an option just to sit in a restaurant and eat slowly.
Now you know.
Now I know. And that's what I do. My dinner, I can proudly announce that my dinner now can take up to 4 full hours.
Good. So definitely, I mean, yeah, I mean, the therapy, yeah, what I think what we're discussing here, that ballroom dancing, you need to have many tools to make your dancing better. You need to be, of course, strong, you need to be flexible, but you also need to have great communication skills, right? And you need to be able to have emotional intelligence. I think that's what I definitely struggled with, to kind of sense, you know what, Anastasia doesn't feel so good today. I think we should kind of take it easy. I would be like, I mean, I don't care. Let's go. And then we would get into trouble because of that, right?
Well, I think also emotional intelligence, it comes with, I think it comes best with weaknesses.
Hmm.
And I don't think you had many when we were dancing, because you were always a leader in your couple before you met me, right? And then
And
no,
then
but
what
actually
happened?
you were no, but you were physically, you were very fit. You never, I don't even remember you being tired ever. Nothing ever hurt. You were always like ready like, okay, 3 a.m. We're leaving right now, and I'm just in the bed like sleeping there because I'm well, I'm not right. I don't feel like it. So you were very, you were, even when it was a winter, I was shocked. Like you were always walking with your bare feet in your shorts. It's like minus gazillion degrees outside. It's like fucking snowing. It's like, okay, let's jog. I'm like, what?
When was
I
that?
know. In Latvia all the time. You and your
Yeah,
sister, you're like bare feet all out of freaking snow.
for a short time, yeah, maybe.
Okay.
So, what are you
You're
getting
right.
at? You meaning that you're
No,
saying,
I mean that emotional intelligence, it's hard to develop in a younger age
mm,
without certain experiences. And
hmm,
you were very self-sustained
mm,
in your health wise. It's
got it. So you're saying that
well,
because I didn't
let's say
have,
someone comes to me like, "Oh my God, my shoulder hurts." I know
yep,
how shoulder hurts. I'm like, "Oh my
mm,
God, yeah, your shoulder hurts." But
mm,
someone comes to me like, "Oh, I'm losing my hair." Okay, stop losing your hair. I mean, maybe
mm.
it's not pleasant. I don't know. I never had this. So I can try to understand, but I never had this. I don't know. Maybe it's very sad. Maybe it's not. I don't know.
No, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I still think that that doesn't give you the sort of the, you know, excuse to not be emotionally intelligent. I understand how that can happen. Okay, yeah. If I don't have a shoulder pain, it's difficult for me to relate. What does it mean to have a shoulder pain? But I guess I should still try to imagine that, right? I should try to
I thought
understand
you
more.
tried. I really thought you tried.
Mm,
I actually think, honestly, I think that you made an excellent job trying
in what?
for those years.
I'm listening.
No, trying to understand. You really tried. And I think I remember that it was a struggle for you.
Mm,
But whenever we were well rested, well fed, and not overly repressed,
uh-huh.
you trust.
I see.
No, but because I remember you asking questions and I couldn't even give you an answer because I didn't understand how it is even possible not to understand what I mean. Like, what do you mean,
Mm,
what I mean?
mm, mm,
Can't
mm.
you feel it? What do you mean?
Mhm, mhm,
Because yeah, I remember you asked something and I was like, well, because that's like, what do you mean?
mhm,
I mean, just what I just said.
mhm,
And then I realized that you're not getting it. And I don't have any better way to explain it. So we
mm.
kind of
Like for
sit.
example, dead end,
Like
nowhere to
that was
go.
the end of communication. Like, okay.
Like in what sense? Like something hurts, or some kind of action in the body, or some kind of idea, or what do you mean?
I don't remember the exact subject. I just
Mm,
remember, I remember the ballroom and I remember the feeling. when I just reached the wall. And I'm like, okay, he doesn't understand. And I don't think I can explain it. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. But it's
Move
this
on.
is also very important to understand. You have to admit when it's, you know,
Not going
maybe the subject, most likely, because I don't remember it, maybe it wasn't even worthy.
mm, to be
You know
upset
what I mean?
about. Yeah.
Yeah, and another thing for practicing, maybe you need to, because sometimes you just want to prove a point. Let's say you did, but you proved me that the span is pink. How is going to change my Venus walls?
Nobody knows.
Good job, you're right, or like I'm right about something, but it's not going to affect anything.
Yeah.
So y- you also maybe have to choose what are you even arguing about.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
Like this argument that I was just telling about, I remember the fact it was the first ever in my life realization that two people can just reach the point where they just disagree. It's not good, it's not bad. It's
Hmm.
just, I
Different
mean,
preference.
that's
You
it.
prefer this, and I prefer that, and
Yeah, just it is what it is. And I don't even remember the subject. So just realizing that consensus is not always possible
hmm
was the most important part of this argument rather
hmm
than
hmm
subjects of it in the end. So this is good.
I see. Yeah.
What do we have else?
What do we have? What else? Maybe you want to talk about something in particular.
Hmm, take care of your health, sleep more, eat better. Don't forget your
Yeah.
shoes.
I think what can help that we didn't do enough of is have more structure into our practice. Meaning that, okay, this week we're gonna work on, I don't know, shape. And we work on shape in many different ways. And sometimes we maybe go like really according to the plan, or sometimes we change it or alter it, but that's our plan. And then also, let's say a practice session, like a more, like we agree on this and then stick to it more, and kind of be okay maybe if it didn't go okay, just kind of stick to it and maybe reassess a week later. Sometimes I feel we kind of try to do these plans, but sometimes we just it doesn't feel like it, let's just do something else, right?
Well, I also feel like it's a nice thing when switch to something else when we both doesn't feel like it rather than force us. It's a lot of things to do. I mean,
Yeah.
you can do whatever. It's just I think that we had at some point too much information. It was a little controversial many times, many instances. So I personally, uh, I would maybe suggest people to take less private lessons, or let's say you take. It's not about amount. You take one piece of information, any
hmm
information, and then until you um, actually start to doing it and starting
hmm
to implement. That's the word, implement.
implement. Yeah.
Implement. Implement in all possible dances, all possible places that you can.
hmm
Just don't switch to another. Just do this,
Yeah.
then learn some, concentrate on
Yeah, and
something
I
else.
think if we would have maybe, let's say, written it down, me and you, I sometimes wrote something down, and maybe you sometimes write some notes from the lessons, but it's you and me. Where is ours?
Yeah.
So I think,
This is a very good point.
right,
Yes.
we would
Hmm.
kind of, maybe I have my notebook and you have your notebook, but there's a third notebook that is ours, and we kind of sit down and, okay, Anastasia, like, what about walls? What is our top priority? And we kind of talk about it. Oh, I think it's this, and you think, oh no, I think it's that. And then we should come to a consensus in this matter, right?
This is
Otherwise we
actually
can't dance.
very good point. This is actually brilliant. I think that might be a key because many times I feel like we we were at the same lesson with you, right? You and me, both of
Yeah,
us. And then you heard something that you feel like, oh my God, yeah,
this is it.
that's what I need. This is it. And then I didn't even I'm like, okay, yeah, he said that, but whatever. But this, the other thing, that's what I need. And then we're just trying to do different things.
Exactly. You focus on your thing, and I focus on
Yeah.
my thing, and we kind of there dancing kind of with each other. But in reality, I'm sort of dancing with my ideas, and you're dancing with yours. And sometimes it would work, but sometimes it would clash. Like you want to be slow, and I want to just power through. I mean, it doesn't work together like that. It's
I think
either.
you say this is might be the most important, I think, the most important thing that we found today
Mhm.
to make notes together. Like especially
Right.
if we're looking back to ours, because I had a lot of notes. I mean, I had notes everywhere.
Yeah.
Good. Good
Yeah.
job at this
I
stage. I don't
think
remember anything.
right because and then what happens? I think if we would make this third notebook that it's ours,
Hmm.
and we make a common note, we could always kind of go back and say, oh, what did we write for today? Oh, we're going to do this. Okay, good, let's stick to this. And then maybe this day is finished, and then there's the next day, and we can, or whatever, next month, and we can kind of say, you know what, I don't like this, let's change. And you're like,
Hmm.
okay, let's try it. But at least then we have like a proof, and kind of like something tangible. Otherwise, when speak, you remember something, you forget something. When it's on the paper, it's kind of
Yeah.
undeniable, right? It's like we agreed on this. Let's do it.
Yeah. And also, it helps to understand what do you think. I know what you think. You know what I think. We just know what's going on
Right.
more in each other mind.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
Because that's such a crucial thing. I would sometimes feel when I'm teaching now, and then the students, they are focusing too much on the thing that they're supposed to do, and they're not really dancing with me. The timing is off, the feeling is off, and I'm sure we did that a lot. Sometimes you watch these young dancers from whichever federation, and they're just like dancing nearby, very, very fast, and this and that, but it's not really together, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think that's something that you achieve later when you have a certain set of skills
Hmm.
established. Kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think you could
Also,
have a little
yeah.
of that in your current dancing. Like I think it doesn't matter how old you are. Of course, maybe
Well,
at least
not how old, but
16.
the level wise. Because
Oh,
if you
level
are,
wise, yeah.
yeah, because if your biggest achievement to not to forget your steps, I mean, forget partnering, just
Yeah.
remember your cha-cha. Uh, what was I saying? I had an interesting thought.
So, kind of like I said, that sometimes that's the problem, like what we just kind of talked about. You would tell me something, and in my mind, I would be like, "Pfft, that doesn't matter. Let's just do what I want. And maybe you
You
had the
thought
same.
so? Oh my God.
I'm sure you thought the same, but because we have different focus, and we sort of listen to the same thing, but we understand it differently. I think there can be improvement on really talking about it and writing it down. Like this is what we're doing, and this is how we're doing it, and we can both feel that inside other body more with more awareness. Because when I'm thinking on my actions, it's very difficult for me to also feel your actions. I need to have
Mhm.
that in mind already. Okay, when I'm doing this, she's doing that, and that's how it's going to work together. If I'm just like, you know what, I need to turn on three, you're like, okay, he's turning, and what am I supposed to do? Right?
Well, I remember what I wanted to talk. Oh yeah. Okay. So, many times I hear this. Well, not okay. Yeah, kind of many. It's like from students, like, oh, this time I'm gonna uh, jump over my head, like, oh, it's gonna be amazing. Eh, No, it's not, because you can't really do anything better that you are
Practiced.
able to do. You know what I mean? Because many times, I can say it in. I heard this joke in Russian. I don't even know if it's. Just gonna say it to you. Just gonna cut it off.
Sure.
И он говорит, что я хочу наверстать упущенное. Ему
Uh-huh.
отвечают: не упусти наверстанное. So basically, when you're trying to do more than you can and to prove everyone that you can be better, yes, you can later go practice more and then you're going to be better. But for now, for this moment of life, just try to do what you already know how to do. Because if you're trying to do something better, you might not even do
What you
what you
know.
can. So
Hmm.
just chill, just try to do that like two, three, maybe even one task, but together
Yeah.
and actually do it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's what at least I struggled always when we were dancing. I was like, oh, I want to do this thing one, and then the second, and the third, and the fourth, and and the end is just I didn't do neither very good. You know, it's sort of this feeling of I want to be so good, I want to do so many things great, but you need to just master one thing so good that it just goes into the background. Then you can focus on the second one, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I think we can maybe touch upon on one more subject and then we can
How
call
to
it a
approach
day.
conflicts? Have no idea. Avoiding resentment and personal
You can't say
attacks.
that. We need to provide
I
some
never,
solutions.
never avoided any. Okay. And importance and emotional
I
intelligence.
just
Important,
go.
very important. Very important. Next.
You know
So,
what? For example, let's talk about this: how to avoid conflict. Because I read this book about crucial conversations. And they were talking about how to deal with conflicts and how to deal with these situations, and I learned that I didn't do that before. I didn't sort of what you can do when there's a conflict. You can clearly explain where you're coming from, kind of very easy, and just tell how it is. Don't try to play it nice or whatever, and tell like, okay, this is where I'm coming from. This is what I'm feeling, and that's why I'm telling you this thing. And this is one thing that you can do. And the second thing is you can sort of not try to guess, but try to understand the other person. You can say, okay, Anastasia, I see you're doing this. I think you're doing this because you want to do better or you want to push harder, but is that true? Right? And then you can kind of either confirm it or deny, right? Rather than, I think sometimes we would just get very personal and kind of, oh, why are you pushing me, or why are you pulling me, or like, oh my god. And I think, like, for example, for me, I wouldn't necessarily explain why I say things I say. I think that can be helpful in a conflict situation to sort of say, this is why I'm saying you this, because when you are coming back from whatever your lunch, I feel kind of heavy, and why it's
yeah.
important to me, because I need to be more on the left, and I thought that you could kind of be also on the left, and we can kind of turn there, but I can't seem doing this because you're still there. I don't understand why that
Wait.
happens,
Yeah.
right?
I'm sorry. How old are you?
But that's how I think you should approach conflict.
You should. Oh,
Before I would
totally.
be like,
No,
you're heavy. It doesn't really
no, you
solve anything,
totally
right?
should. You totally should. But if we're talking based on our dance career, how to avoid,
No, I mean, but that's one way that we could have been better at, right?
we could have. No, we could. But
Yeah.
again, I mean, I really like conflict. You need a the easiest answer for me if I'm talking about someone who's 18, who's healthy, who has plenty of time to spare for dancing, who doesn't need to pay their bills by themselves yet, right? And you have all the passion and all the energy to devote to sports, to ballroom dancing, and when you think you're right. And if you don't think you're right, then you're less competitive because I feel like that's the part of a competition to prove everyone that you're like the best.
Hmm.
Um, and you're 18, you're not avoiding conflict. That's the formula of a perfect conflict right there. There's two people
Yeah,
stuck together for a longer period of time. You need mediator, you need a coach, you need a therapist, you need a lot of it,
and a
you
good
need
dinner.
regularity, and you need rest. You need to be rested. You need someone to work on your mental condition, because when you are mentally prepared, you can go do other things more successfully. Because okay, when we were dancing, it was a little bit better than earlier, when the only recommendation from your coach, well, I'm saying like before us, when you're like, oh, just shut
Do
up
it.
and try harder. Thank you,
Yeah.
coach. I mean, we already had more conversations about how to approach practice and how to approach each other, but now it's even more accessible. And I think you really should take advantage, because, okay, you can shut up and try harder when your coach is there, when someone with authority is there.
Hmm.
And when they're not, then
It's
you need a
difficult.
skill um, that you don't have these
Developed.
tools, because your main tool was to shut up and try harder,
Yeah, that's your answer to
which
everything.
is,
It's
yeah, which is,
useful,
I mean, which is kind of great in many situations,
hmm, but not all.
but not all of them. Yeah, when you I think you can agree, because there's a point when you're constantly practicing with a coach, and then coach go, okay, now you're adult enough, you can practice by yourself, go practice by yourself. But how to practice by yourself, what to do, how to talk to one another. um
Yeah, I mean, you need to establish a routine and a process that sort of you follow through. For example, now that I'm training for my triathlon, and I have this app that, you kind of put your training plan in, and, on Monday it's this, and then on Tuesday it's this, and then on Wednesday it's this and this, and then on Thursday is that, and then Friday is rest, and then this and this, right? I mean, I,
Tired, just
no, I mean, I'm not saying like how much it is or
that.
whatever, but what helps is that I know in my mind when I go to bed on whatever Sunday night that I know what I'm gonna do on Monday. Exactly. I can open it up and I can see, okay, swimming, this and this. I mean, 100 meters like this and 200 meters like that. And so, of course, sometimes I'm tired. Sometimes I don't go exactly according to the plan, but mentally it helps me to prepare. So I think that could be also beneficial for couples. Okay, tomorrow this is what we're going to do. We're going to do 30 minutes solo, we're going to do one round, and then we're going to work on tango, I don't know, staccato rhythm. And then you
Mhm.
mentally already start to get into the zone, you know and you can talk about it. You know what, I think, Anastasia, you need to be more, I don't know, whatever, faster or whatever. You need to be more closing to me or whatever, And then when you go to bed, you think about it. Okay, Carlos told me this, that tomorrow I should be closing and faster. Okay, good. I think I can do it. And you prepare yourself mentally. And when it's time to do it, you know what to do. Sometimes, like, go practice. Okay, you come, I come, we kind of arrive. Let's practice.
Okay.
What practice
Yeah.
what? you know
Yeah. I agree,
then we
agree.
start to think about what to practice. We should think about it, last week. Right?
Yeah.
So
No, agree, agree.
that can help us to sort of establish a process. You know about it, I know about it, our coach knows about it, and we kind of follow through it week by week. And maybe something happens, injury, tired. You know what, I think it's a good call to take 2 days off. When we take the 2 days off and we're not kind of anxious about it. It's like, oh, we can do whatever we want. We rest, and then we on the third day we go back to our plan. And this plan is because at the end of the day, like you said, you can't do something that you've never done, right? Our dancing level is going to be building up throughout the years.
Mhm.
So if we skip one day, what does it matter? As long as we stick to the plan,
This
should
is
be
a good
good.
point. Yeah, I don't think we had this vision when we were dancing. And the more I see dancers right now, everyone wants, well, if not instant result, but
Too
fast
fast.
result. And well, let's say our career, I can't even call it a career. We came very close to make it our career, and we
Hmm.
actually stopped as a very young professionals. That's actually when we had enough skill and enough quality to make it our career
Hmm.
as a professional dancer, meaning not a coach, but a performer,
Hmm.
not a judge, not a studio owner, not a coach, not a trainer, but as a performer. I feel like we stopped right there. We collected everything, all the ingredients that we need, and then we're like, I'm tired. Okay, I'm gonna go.
We're
And that's
tired.
why, yes, I would. I mean, totally. But that's how you also kill your career, because maybe if I would have more health, if I would have more desire to still dance, uh, maybe we would get there to this point later. I mean, again, a year later, 6 months later, like how late? Not in 20 years, right? It would be a little later, but we would still be able to continue. We would still have some passion and some interest in
Well,
this.
it's easy to say now, but you remember how it was. It was
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like,
But I mean,
please make it stop.
yes, I
Right?
know. Oh my God.
For I think it was kind of for both of us, right? It wasn't like it was
Yes.
predominantly you or predominantly me. It kind of both of
Yeah,
us.
yeah. No, but I mean, if we would have more what you saying right now, a
Hmm.
plan, and as long as we stick to a bigger plan, we wouldn't be afraid to lose 1 or 2 days of practice, or let's say someone got sick, we wouldn't push through it to further exhaust our body. Just like, okay, we're sick. Let's just skip this freaking amazing competition
Hmm.
in
Go to
Jeleno.
Egypt.
I don't know. Not very, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's just not break my back over this fabulous 10 dancing without
Thing.
even, you know what? More wine. Right. What I felt many times that when I had injury, I felt like we had competition schedule was more important than my health, meaning I would betray our practice. I would betray our plan. I would upset, I don't know, my coach. I would upset you because everyone was counting on us. And I was like, I'm sick. So I kind of did it like this was a world in China when I ripped one of my ligaments in the neck, when I
Hmm.
literally had to eat and like holding my head so it doesn't like fall aside. Whose brilliant idea was it to let me dance? To fly city, like it happened a week after. I couldn't hold my head while eating. And someone said, like, oh yeah, sure, they can go down. Like,
Yeah.
we had other couples who decided. I don't even remember because for me it was obvious because I'm a sportsman. I got to do it. But there were like other people involved, and no one said like, "Oh, maybe you shouldn't."
Hmm. Yeah.
Why? We
Sometimes maybe,
still to
yeah,
now.
it's difficult to gauge, right, how big of an injury. I guess maybe we should have go to the doctor, and then the doctor listen to the doctor as well, right? And then or you could have been much more strict. I guess it's difficult, right? Because we are preparing. It's like you said, you don't want to sort of, I don't know.
Well, you don't want to give up whatever you've been
Yeah,
working
right.
towards,
So
but
that
this
makes sense.
it
But
has to.
Yeah, but yeah, injury is injury, and your health is more important than whatever. We can go next year, right? I understand it's frustrating and all of that, but for your health, it would be better not to go, right? Not to make it worse, right?
Well, I now I can give good advices then.
Yeah. You see, so you can have some benefit.
Yeah, good advices and good chiropractor. Anyway, yeah, just take care of your health better. Okay, to sum it up, um, I think you would have had much better experience with me as a partner if I would be more rested, less in pain, in physical pain, and I probably had to have a therapist, like just therapist, because there was a lot of pressure from everywhere, and it didn't
Help.
help at all.
Mm.
It was pressure from the fact that my parents are dance teachers, even though I don't think they tried. I met much rougher situations than mine, but it just was there because I felt like
You want to do
I
good for
have
them,
to.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, just I felt like I have to. Even though I liked it already, I chose dancing. No one pushed me to do that, but
Hmm.
just in general, I felt like I have to. Um, just more health, more rest, and more mental stability that would have made me so much better partner for you for sure. Like just a therapist and more sleep and more food.
Maybe a little wine.
Like maybe wine. Yeah, well, I didn't drink back then.
That
Maybe that was an issue. We
was the
don't know.
problem.
No, but anyway, I honestly think so. It's nothing dance related would make me a better partner. Just plain human being things. What do you think?
No, I think it's a great insight, right? I think we no, I think we did great. We really did a lot, and maybe we because we did it in such a short time, we kind of a little burned out.
It was
But
short. It was 6 years. It was the shortest time ever.
yeah, I mean, it could have been longer, right? But it was there was reasons for that. So there's that's just what happened. So, but yeah, some of the side activities could have been more beneficial, like you said, maybe a therapist, to better understand what is going on and how to navigate that. A bit more rest, maybe a little more structure, a little bit more not just doing the thing, but also talking about how are we doing this in the long term, right? Like, okay, in the next 3 years, what we would like to do and how that's going to happen, and maybe have a little bit more planning throughout the week and plan in the rest. When are we pushing, and kind of throughout the season, right? Like, where are our more important things? Okay, this is important. This is important. So the rest is less important. Let's not push for it. Not like, okay, everything is important.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be like that. It's one or two things are the most, and then two things maybe
Mm-hmm.
second level, and then everything else whatever. We're good, we're going. We're not good, we're not going, because we have the important things, right? I think sometimes
Yeah.
it's kind of like everything was important, and then we're constantly at 120%, right?
And I remember we had some like minor competition. It was Latin. Um, it wasn't Latvia. It was something not very ranking wise important, but we had
Hmm.
to do this. And I don't remember who, but it was a coach, not our coach, to just like come up and like, oh yeah, well, it wasn't, you know, that good today. And I remember it was like our maybe, I don't know, eighth weekend in a row And I'm
Hmm.
like, well, I'm
Genius.
sorry. I'm tired.
Hmm.
It's my like literally it's the end of my second month dancing competitions nonstop. I'm sorry that I wasn't that impressive that time.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay, I think we touched upon some really nice topics, and I hope it can be helpful for other people. And just to kind of look back and reassess a bit. Oh, this one we did great, and that one could have been better. And I think it was such an interesting. Now, kind of looking back to talk about it, and how do you see it, and how do I see it, and I think
It's
that can be nice for everyone.
just one more thing about therapists because now I can afford my therapist and I go there, right? Um, she told me one very interesting thing. It took me some time to process that, but actually that's true. That's true in your um marriage and even with your friends because once you well okay with your partnering not as much when you're younger because you're not really picking your partner by yourself, your partner being picked for you by your coach
Hmm.
based on body measurements, weight, like
Level,
skills,
yeah,
yeah, any like any many other things rather than oh, do you like this person? Do you feel okay talking to him? Like, no, I don't think that's the
main thing.
even a criteria even a criteria back then. But she told me to approach every person in my life, especially as an adult, because I already picked the person to be in my circle for one reason or another. No one forced me to pick this person, and to approach this person as a given as something that is given as it is. Because I feel many times we're either searching what we could improve in another person rather than ourselves, or we're searching for flaws, or we're searching for something that is not perfect or perfect. Like, oh, I love him for this. Oh, I really I like him because he's doing something or she's doing something that way or another way. But next day, he or she might not do this or might do another way. So when you approach someone as a whole, as a given thing, you don't see things as a problem anymore. It's just what it is for you. Does it make sense?
Hmm. Yeah, learn to accept people for
Um,
how they
it's
are.
not even accept. It's just there. Rain is falling. You don't have to accept the rain. It's
Hmm.
just there.
Yeah, that makes sense. So then you can
Rain,
kind of move on and deal with the rain
yeah, and you
if you
move
want to.
on yeah, and you move on every single day with whatever it is. So you don't give your emotional evaluation to anything. It's not good, it's not bad, it's not hard, it's not easy, it's not pleasant, it's not unpleasant. It's just
What it
this.
is.
So then maybe you can become less emotional. But again, when you're 18, I don't think it's even an option.
I see.
I
No.
still I'm standing my grounds. I think the less experienced and more passionate about what you do you are, the more help from outside you need to achieve any sort of balance.
Yeah.
Because when everything is balanced, there is no competition.
Yeah, you feel good, right? You just feel, oh, I don't need to do anything. I already feel good. So
Yeah.
then, in a way, of course, when you don't know that much about all of the things that we discussed, it's kind of, sort of a blessing and also a curse. It's a blessing because it drives you, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it's a curse because you don't know where you're driving and how you're driving.
Yeah.
So, when it's balanced,
Yeah.
maybe you don't want to drive there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It happens very often. when you're actively getting somewhere and then you're there and they're like, did I? That was my goal right here. I'm not sure.
Yeah. No, I guess
Reaching.
as we reach some goals, we learn, right? Okay, I reached this goal, and what's next? Do I want to go down this road, or maybe I want to do some other road, or I want to have the same road but with a little different flavor, right? I guess that's for everybody, because nobody can tell you how it's going to feel for you. You go there, you feel it, and then you kind of make a choice.
Hmm. Yep. Well,
With that genius idea, I think, from us, it's time to end.
you see, we did so well. We finally agreed on something.
Yeah, exactly.
Few topics. It's a success. Let's drink to it. Cheers.